well that from the opening in Gatineau, Quebec, you had some very good presentations there. And that set the tone for your study groups that have taken you to across Canada and the Caribbean, and finally here to Barbados. Working, living together in that time, moving together, quite a challenge. Pursuing that theme of the dialogue, growth through connection and enabling sustainable progress. The complexities of connection in the modern terms in information technology, and I'm still waiting for the definition of sustainable, which is one of the reasons I'm sorry to miss the presentations, because I was hoping somebody would come up with that. But each of your teams, learning from your experience and the impact of your leadership capabilities and the contributions you make when you're back at home, how your groups respond to each of your travels, the emphasis that you've taken from it, the individual moments that have perhaps been key to you, are really interesting to hear. And when I look at the places you've been to, the type of presentations that you've had in the different countries, all fascinating in their own right, and yet meeting you afterwards, the different things that you have taken from those events, and your ability to sum up the differences in what you've seen, but also to highlight the similarities. Your interest in maintaining those contacts, your understanding of where leaders are, of the ones you have seen, the ones that weren't necessarily flagged up as leaders, the understanding of how that fits, the differences in terms of the type of leadership. I had the ability to join some of you in Bermuda, in Jamaica, and in Grenada. And then their economies are different. Bermuda is largely a financial services economy. Jamaica is a more mixed economy, and Grenada has a more agriculturally based economy. And yet so much of what you were looking at in scale terms was how that impacted on the societies around them, and the different way in which those industries affected it. And it's been, as always, a lesson to hear your versions and your responses to that. I think you've met leaders at all levels, and I think you have seen the confidence that good leaders give to their organizations to do more, and how that work reacts on everybody who is with them. I think bringing emerging leaders' dialogues together, people like you who volunteer to make use of your experience so far, but who have a real interest in broadening your perspective of understanding how society works, is an enormous achievement. It does come down to taking action, and you've taken action by being part of this dialogue, taking responsibility, making decisions, following up on the effort of your predecessors who've made it possible. You only have to look at the organizers of CCELD in 2011 and the EPLD for the South Pacific region to see that leadership in action, because that is building on the excellence of their alumni who've excelled in their chosen fields and are now dedicating an enormous amount of time and talent to give back to the next generation of leaders by organizing these regional dialogues. But the dialogue is what you make of it. As I said, there's no pass mark, no assessment. It is your interest and enthusiasm. And I am hugely encouraged by your response to that rather simplistic comment of, would you do it again? But your response is so positive that I am confident that it will happen again, and that there will be another 120 so people here well, not maybe here, but who will be able in 4 years' time to say that they have had the ability to make a real difference to their lives. Each of the 10 Commonwealth conferences and now the 3 regional dialogues have been unique undertakings because they've been organised by different alumni in different countries. All of those, though, with keeping the leadership learning flame alive. But it perhaps goes to prove that you don't have to have the same place, same time, same environment. This is something that can be done anywhere and probably should be done in as many different places as possible. And I hope that your response to that question really does mean that you will want to see CCELD in 2015 and that you will want to be part of that from a different perspective. That your experience as individuals with the presentations, how people responded, will enable you to create the opportunities for the future. I'm very sorry not to be here to hear your presentations because the presentations are always different. They vary in terms of tone and delivery, of course, but they all make an important comment on your experiences and what we need to take away from them. I'm really grateful that you did volunteer on whatever guise that happened to come, that you brought with you your experience, your understanding of leadership, your experience in the roles that you already have. I hope that you feel that you've gained something personally, but that will be a personal learning curve which will allow you to contribute more widely. As you know, going back to celebrate a significant birthday for your founder. Now, you won't be at all surprised to hear that finding a birthday present for a chap who seems to have been there and done everything is not very easy. But in my case, it's simplified by the fact that the success of this dialogue is probably one of the best birthday presents he would want to have. Building on that 1956 conference, to see it being so enthusiastically pursued now by completely different generations, completely different experiences, have grown up in a completely different time frame. For him, that will be a great birthday present. So thank you very much for giving me that opportunity too. No, I will give him something else, I promise. But that will be a treat. And for me to wish you well in your presentations, I'm sure you'll do a very good job. Thank you for what you've done. Thank you to our organisers for their extraordinary levels of support. And most importantly, however long it may take, safe journey home.